Build an academic language.
A mainstream student is a student who has been raised speaking the dominant dialect by educated middle or upper class parents who have provided books, computers, academic support, and rich conversations.
We got diversity, not only different races, different languages, kids from all different places, different dialects, so we gotta make sure when we teach students understand the mainstream words.
In Jamaica, there's a common spoken dialect called Patois. Let's hear a dialect story.
I found that the most unsuccessful students in school were students who were from economically disadvantaged homes. Most of the homes were headed by grandmothers who hadn't passed the third grade and who did not know how to use the English language properly. They didn't understand the English language. They didn't really speak it. They spoke the Jamaican dialect.
Quick intro to the Jamaican dialect. Let's listen to a conversation. The main speaker is talking to a friend about getting fired.
What happened when you so late?
You fire me today, man.
For real?
Yeah. Me in the place I work good, and the man wait till me finish all my files them, you know. And I come fire me, you know. But say, oh, them not making enough money and them something there. I can't take it in every day the same thing. Me just can't get by, no matter how I try. Look from when me did I work with the man.
For real? I saw them scared,
Can't
man.
take it in a man.
So what you gonna do now?
I know me I go do, who me for do? The man come for all him rent and me not even pay my rent. Me not even have no food in my fridge.
Right now, what me can say, me gonna help you out, but you don't know, you get up bright and early and find another job.
A job me I look from evening from them fire me, a job me dip on the road
Oh,
and
that's
look.
why you late.
That's why me late with the man today.
Him just asleep.
Him eat?
Him eat.
Why me tell you, no man?
Don't worry, man, me there for you.
Just add upon me, me don't know how me go find my rent.
Me gonna call him and
Every day the
man
same
don't
thing.
food, right?
Yes.
Me gonna call him and talk to him.
I
and
be a
tell him
liberty
the
to take me in,
situation.
man. Me try, me there work and the man just come on my desk but me fired and all laugh with me like me and my friend.
Back to our dialect story.
And consequently, the children in that home, they were very versed in speaking the dialect but did not understand the language, the English language itself. Those students had a very difficult time in writing the language and speaking the language. This is the requirement when you're in school. That's the language of exchange that you use in school. And those children were put at a disadvantage. I assumed that they weren't very smart, but thinking back now, I realized that they didn't have access to the language that I had when I was growing up.
Academic capital, the value, knowledge, and communication skills that get passed on to most mainstream children and are reinforced at school.
Those with academic capital backgrounds are lucky, and those without don't make them feel so sucky.
Let's hear an academic capital story.
In our chemistry class, we had some boys who constantly scored way ahead of the rest of the class. And I couldn't quite understand because even though I studied really hard, they didn't study as hard. They would always get like an A or an A plus, and I'd get like a B plus. But when I went to visit their home, I realized that the things that I didn't have access to in my regular daily life, these were things that were just very commonplace things to them. They would go to the bathroom, instead of having a comic book like I would have, they would go into the bathroom with a Time magazine or a science magazine. They had encyclopedias around their house as if those were your Dick and Jane book. So I found that the things that they were exposed to on a normal daily basis were things that were far more complicated and more complex than the things I was exposed to in my home with parents who had not gone past the 8th grade.
Let's zoom into meaning of capital.
Having access to Time magazine and encyclopedias is an example of what type of the four capitals.
Social, cultural, knowledge, linguistic.
Social capital has mostly to do with your interactions with other people, listening skills, and appropriate behavior. Cultural capital has to do with wealth, parent education, travel and religion-related experiences, and many others. Knowledge capital has to do with development as a result of reading, watching educational TV, using computers, travel, conversations, etc. Linguistic capital has to do with quantity and quality of language used by parents and peers, daily discussions, and other experiences. Regional dialects also figure in. So, the exposure to Time magazines and encyclopedias relate to which capital?
Knowledge.
Back to our academic capital story.
And it wasn't that they were putting out an effort, it's just that this was the normal everyday atmosphere in their home. And I do agree with the fact that there are some children who go into school with academic capital. And those children are the ones who approach the work from a place of being above the work, looking down. And they had other kids who do not have that kind of atmosphere and environment. They approached the work looking up, and it was very overwhelming. And they always exceeded the highest expectations that there were. It was very easy for them because this was their everyday language.
We got a mixer by Ashley Brown and Miss Dana. Sit back and relax.
We got diversity, not only different races, different languages, kids from all different places, different dialects. So we gotta make sure when we teach students understand the mainstream words. We got diversity, not only different cultures, different families. So we're in a big struggle cause the gap's big. So we gotta make sure when we teach students understand the mainstream words.
Let me tell you about a girl I knew. Her family had morals and they really valued school, but when she came, she didn't do so good. She came from like a little that the white kids do. So my book is truly living proof. Poor non-native speaker education can be cruel. Oh, she'll get it. The teachers assumed in her confidence just went by the bum 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 bum.
When we're in the classroom, we can't be one-sided. We must accept all views. Truth is, some kids don't think like you. No, so you gotta get to know them if you wanna make a breakthrough. We got diversity, not only different races, different languages, kids from all different places, different dialects. So we gotta make sure we teach students understand the mainstream words. We got diversity, not only different cultures, different families. So we're in a big struggle cause the gap's big. So we gotta make sure we teach students understand the mainstream words. Oh, teachers, we gotta be persistent. So when it comes to the kids, don't keep your distance. Learn about their language, culture, and their minds. Help build academic language with a smile. When we're in the classroom, we can't be one-sided. We must accept all views. Truth is, some kids don't think like you. No, so you gotta get to know them if you wanna make a breakthrough. We got diversity, not only different races, different languages, kids from all different places, different dialects. So we gotta make sure we teach students understand the mainstream words. We got diversity, not only different cultures, different families. So we're in a big struggle cause the gap's big. So we gotta make sure we teach students understand the mainstream words. Oh.
I hope you guys all learned your lesson. We gotta garbage bag all the crap and the testing. These poor students, they need God's blessing. They become victims of languages. Pedagogy often trapped and completely misled and requiring skills not taught. Certainly will stress them. America is diverse, so don't be rushing. Fixing what they feel like what they say means nothing. Everything just struck me. I want everyone to notice like yo said, our buck teeth. Kids with academic capital backgrounds are lucky, and those without don't make them feel so sucky. So put your books up if you're with me. Future educators, let's get busy. Join the club, let's run this city. Y'all who don't, such a pity. I hope you're with me. I'm in the club like 50. Let's run this city. Let's master teaching.
Truth is, some kids don't think like you. No, so you gotta get to know them if you wanna make a breakthrough. We got diversity, not only different races, different languages, kids from all different places, different dialects. So we gotta make sure when we teach students understand the mainstream words. We got diversity, not only different cultures, different families. So we're in a big struggle cause the gap's big. So we gotta make sure we teach students understand the mainstream words. We got diversity, not only different races, different languages, kids from all different places, different dialects. So we gotta make sure when we teach students understand the mainstream words. We got diversity, not only different cultures, different families. So we're in a big struggle cause the gap's big. So we gotta make sure we teach students understand the mainstream words. Oh.
We not only have to make sure that they're understanding the mainstream language,
but make sure the expectations we have for them, like using academic language, are very clear and visible.
The end.